Hello everybody, welcome to this special presentation. Today we have the honor to host Mr. Bourassa, CEO of Nemaska Lithium. If we take a look at this company, it's a company that's standing pretty well, maintaining a nice upward trend. Yesterday the stock confirmed a clear buying signal. Today the stock is having a slight correction, but we still see that there's a wave of buyers that's persistent on that stock. So Mr. Bourassa is there with us to tell you why his company should represent your next investment. So Mr. Bourassa, thank you for coming by.
Thanks for the invitation.
Excellent. Now let's talk about the big news that you guys have, the federal and provincial certifications that you guys just received. So with this in hand, I know you said that you wanted to build a concentrator on your plant. So how much you think that this will cost, and what are the next steps now that you have those certifications?
Yeah, we have to understand that we're going to have two commercial sites.
Okay.
One in Nemaska region, north of Chibougamau, a mine and a concentrator.
Okay.
So we're going to mine about 1 million ton of ore, 213,000 ton of concentrate,
okay.
6%. Then we're going to ship it for transformation south in Quebec,
okay.
in the south of Quebec, in Shawinigan,
okay.
where we will be transforming spodumene concentrate into high purity lithium hydroxide and some little carbonate, lithium carbonate.
Okay. So all the processing will be done in the plant in Shawinigan, right?
Yeah, the transformation,
okay.
The value-added transformation in Shawinigan.
Now, talking of Shawinigan, because I know before when you came for the last interview, your initial plan was to go in Salaberry. Why did you change from Salaberry to Shawinigan? What were the benefits that were offered to you guys to switch?
Well, existing infrastructures
okay.
in Shawinigan, papier résolu, Laurentide plant closed in November.
Okay.
So the city of Shawinigan was very
stretched financially?
No, but they wanted very clearly to have a new industry
okay.
take over these facilities, and they approached us and were quite convincing to have us establish ourselves there. But it's a matter of reduction of transport cost of the raw material. It's very important because it's closer to the mine, and also the fact that the existing buildings were well built, well maintained by Résolu, give us a clear advantage on time of construction, and will reduce, we believe, significantly the capex for the hydromet plant.
Okay. Now, in terms of the processing that will be required to transform the ore into hydroxide lithium in this plant in Shawinigan,
yeah.
Is all the materials there, or you need to build new ones or order new ones?
No. Everything is there. Well, the big paper mill was working until November 2014. So hydroelectricity,
okay.
sufficient hydroelectricity, natural gas
okay.
is there. Water supply,
okay.
all of the rail that you need. There's an excess of buildings, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So Résolu and the city of Shawinigan are going to dismantle and take care of an environmental aspect of that part of the site. But existing buildings that were built in the 90s, early 90s, we can take right there.
Okay. Okay. Now, with I know you also begin to try to woo institutional investors to sell them your project, because after what happened to Nemaska Lithium, a lot of investors had some bad taste, or
You
were
mean,
kind of
you mean Canada Lithium?
Yeah, Canada Lithium.
Yeah,
Canada
yeah.
Lithium. That's some bad taste about the lithium project. So, how do you intend to sell your project better? What makes your project really different from Canada Lithium?
Yeah, every time we go and make a presentation to a high institutional investor interested, don't fool ourselves.
Okay.
Everybody, institutional investors, are interested in the lithium space.
Okay.
They see a growing market, shortage of supply, new need of new producer. So at least we have meetings. Rapidly, it comes to what makes you different than CLQ. Why would you succeed where they fail?
Yeah.
Simple answer is the grade, the quality of the mine itself. So there's a difference between 0.9% Li2O and 1.5 Li2O. Just give you a quick vision. To produce 30% less end product, they needed than us. They needed to mine 40% more material.
Okay.
So you see the big difference between the economics of the project. In addition to this, because of the low grade, it was very difficult for them to even reach a 5% spodumene concentrate. Us, we easily make 6% and over with the tests that we've done at Whabouchi.
Okay.
So that gives a leading advantage on the quality of the product and the economic of it.
One thing you mentioned in your answer, you said that because what we're seeing right now among the base metal prices is really a bearish momentum being installed on copper, gold, steel. But you're saying that lithium has been not been impacted by this bearish momentum that we see among other base metal prices?
No, absolutely not.
What makes it so different?
Well, there's a big increase in demand,
Okay.
a growing increase in demand, steady, 2-digit increase for the past 3 years, every year, double-digit increase in the price because of the evolution in the sales of electric vehicles, also energy storage, a large impact energy storage, and obviously the 3 Cs, the consumable, the computers, and the portable device. It still grows. So it's not industry related, the demand. It's consumption. So just give you an example. A week ago, FMC, the fourth largest producer, announced a 15% increase of all of its lithium products, sales price, as of October 1st. But they already increased 10% in May. So it's over 25-27% increase in the past 6 months because there's a scarcity of supply and a lot of demand.
But what will be your end customer? Will it be companies like FMC where you will supply them with your
No.
hydroxide lithium? What will be your end client?
My end client, the main end clients are the cathode material producers. In the battery, you've got the cathode, you've got the anode and other parts. The lithium is part of the cathode. So the battery manufacturers are usually not vertically integrated. They buy, they're assembling parts to make a battery. And they have a numerous number of suppliers of cathode material. So our main customers would be the cathode manufacturers.
Mostly in North America, or are you targeting China?
Korea, no, we're not targeting China at all. The real quality cathode material comes from Korea, Japan, and now more in the United States.
Your project is valued about at almost $1 billion. Of course, it's going to take a lot of money to start this project, about $500 million.
Yeah, $500 million.
You guys are still a junior company. So how much money do you have to start this project? Because the only thing I see is stock is doing pretty well, but the only options I see is either some dilutions or either if some big partner really steps in and put a lot of money to back you up. So how do you reassure an investor that if he's a shareholder that you won't be that diluted if you want to start this project and move it forward?
And if you're to become a shareholder, why is it time?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Sure.
Detail that.
Well, it's going to be a mix of everything. Because it is an industrial mineral, it's going to be reassuring for the investment community if we come with a strategic partner slash off-taker slash end user. To get this, we're in discussions, advanced discussions with credible long-term end users. But we're also in discussions with the Société du Plan Nord. As you know, the recently elected Liberal government relaunched Plan Nord. In the Plan Nord, they have a special $1 billion fund earmarked to help and take position up to 20% in any given natural resource development project. Direct investment. So for their benefit of the Quebec population. And that obviously helps because an interesting portion of the project would be financed through Quebec. We also obviously are discussing with the main funds in Quebec to fund a portion of the debt structure of the project financing. Up to now, we do believe that from only in Quebec, we could raise between $200 and $250 million mixed equity debt. The balance will come by end users chipping in money to secure a long-term supply agreement, and the balance will be from the market. But as soon as we announce the start of the construction of our phase 1 plant and a credible offtake agreement, the market value of the company is not going to remain at $60 million.
Now, what is the actual, because I know you guys will be focusing on lithium hydroxide, right? So what's the actual price and your production cost per ton
Absolutely.
that you're expecting?
The feasibility study we did, we based it on a sales price of $8,000 US per ton of lithium hydroxide. Recently, the battery grade lithium hydroxide quality was over $9,000 US because of the scarcity of the supply and the very important growth in the demand. Production costs around $3,000 US.
Okay.
So a very, very interesting high margin product. We are competitive. Our cost, as per the feasibility study, compares advantageously to the brine producers in South America, very well with the Chinese producers.
Okay.
Give you an example, 3,000 US are production cost. Comparable in the China would be 5,007 and 4,000 in the brine sector, according to the numbers we've been able to gather. So we'll never have a problem, a competition problem with the Chinese as far as quality, but more importantly, or as important, the cost of production. As for the brines, it's not a question of cost. Even if we have about $1,000 advantage versus them, it's the fact that they cannot increase their production presently. All of the lithium suppliers in Argentina and in Chile, because of new regulations that forbids them from increasing their production rate.
Okay.
And the Chilean government has decided a couple of years ago to not issue any more permits in Chile. So even if the demand is growing, there's no capacity from South America to increase the supply. So obviously, you need new suppliers. You need 3, 4, 5 new suppliers like us. And if you look around the world, fully permitted, ready to go and start project financing, we're maybe one of the 2 or 3 around the world that are at that stage.
Okay. One thing that struck me when you first came, you said that you guys were working on some kind of a patent with your because you were able to transform the ore directly into hydroxide lithium. How's this? Do you still have the patent? I know you were working also with Clarion Canada concerning how to help them process the ore. So explain to us this partnership and also the patent. Do you still have those patents?
We have we have 7 different families of patents pending. We're expecting any time now the first patent to be granted, the main patents, and after that it will follow, because we evolved, optimized, and so we were able to increase the patents applications. As far as Clarion is concerned, now it has been bought as of April 1st this year by Johnson Matthey of UK, a big, large company. Now it's called Johnson Matthey Battery Materials in Candiac. By the way, it's the single largest lithium iron phosphate producer, cathode material producer in the world. It's in Quebec. They require hydroxide. Their process requires hydroxide, which is what carbonate. You do? Absolutely. So that's why we already had an agreement with the previous company, Clarion Canada. Interestingly enough, when Johnson Matthey bought Clarion Canada, they made sure that the agreement we had with Clarion was following in the purchase. So it guarantees you the interest that they have in a new supplier. Obviously, they are part of our ongoing discussions with some of the off-takers that we're talking to. And I don't see how we cannot be with a very good advantage as far as being in the same territory and with a good cost of production. Okay.
Now, in terms of money, where do you guys stand right now? How much money do you have in your coffers? Because you guys are doing pretty well. So is there a financing that you intend to do in the next few months or so?
Well, we will definitively need to do a financing in the next few months.
How much approximately do you
Well, for the phase 1 plant, we're still looking for $12 million.
Okay.
We have decided not to go to the market for that $12 million unless we're forced to. So that's part of the ongoing discussions with end users.
Okay.
You guys want to secure a long-term supply agreement. You're going to help us fund that phase 1 plant, and you're going to have a lead on your supply agreements in the future. In the meantime, we have about 34 million warrants outstanding with a strike price between 18 and 25 cents. It has started to exercise slowly but surely on a continuous basis since mid-July. So our needs for the G&A are going to be covered by the exercise of warrants.
Okay.
So the rest is project financing, and is directly linked with our ability to attach one or two large end users.
Okay. So the plant one plant, will you be able to produce commercially on that phase one
Yes.
plant? Yes. Okay. Now, what should then investors watch? Because I know the thing is that there's a big Chinese holder, such as Tinky, which slightly decreased their shareholding of your company. So I know you guys say that it's mostly Korea and Japan that will be mostly your targets in North America. So first, what should then investors watch for 2016 with the certification, with the federal and provincial certifications that you got, and a company like Tinky, a big Chinese player, institutional investors that decrease their shareholders in Nemaska Lithium, isn't something that should kind of worry investors?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
On the contrary,
Yeah.
we should be glad because we're going to be larger shareholders in Quebec of our company and our natural resource instead of going China.
Okay. And what should you watch for 2016?
Oh, 2016, it's patents being awarded, funding closed, and construction of the phase one plant, and announcement of 1-2 large credible offtake agreements.
So, Mr. Bourassa, you have a lot on your plate for 2016. Hope you not grow too much gray hair on that. And
Sorry,
I
dear.
definitely look forward to hearing back from you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Allah.
Bye-bye.